Well, we're going to welcome back Melissa, and I think I saw something about treasure. Are you going to show us some treasure?
So thank you everyone for letting me come back, except you're kind of a captive audience, so I'm not really sure how that goes. But now I'm going to talk to you about something that is brand new in Manatee County. It's brand new for natural resources, and we are incredibly excited about it. And in fact, 2 days ago, our board finally voted on it, so everything with it is done, and we are moving forward, and we are super excited. And that is our Taking Flight Geotour. And before I get anywhere past this first cover slide, it is incredibly important for me to acknowledge and thank all 3 national estuary programs, because Manatee County has the unique distinction of being in not 1, not 2, but 3 national estuary program watersheds. So when we first came up with this idea, we applied. Here's what happened. My boss said, hey, here's this grant. I want you to get it. Come up with a project. That's my boss. And I did. I thought, you know what? Let's do something with geocaching. So we applied for this grant, and it was a terrible fail because the grant was only for national parks. Even though we had called and checked, we found that out. So when we found out that we definitely did not get the grant, we reached out to Moran, Sarah, and Misty, and all 3 of them took a kind of leap of faith, and they each gave us $1,500 to do this project, and we are moving forward with it. So, quick and dirty introduction to geocaching for those of you that don't know what it is. It's a high-tech treasure hunt using a GPS unit. Used to be you had to have kind of a expensive GPS unit. Now you can do it with the one, if you have one for your car, and there are a bunch of apps that are really super cheap for your smartphone. You can even do it with just paper, where you kind of approximate with Google Maps and clues. It is extremely popular. There are over 6 million people that use the geocaching.com website, and it's all over the world. I've found geocaches in England, Italy, Japan, Galapagos. They're everywhere. And if you have a preserve, chances are there's already a geocache there, whether or not you know it, and I'll get to that a little later. It's pretty simple. This is one of the geocaches from our trail. Inside there's a log, and when you find it, you write down that you found it and the date. And if you look, this is a container. Not all caches are like this, but this type is. And there's usually some interesting treasure inside, and here's where the treasure comes in, because geocachers love swag. So when we put these out, we stuck them all out, and then we went, oh, there's nothing inside of them. So my interns had to run around like crazy visiting random party stores to find stuff to put inside. So the swag is incredibly important, and I'll get to that later too. And so our goals for the tour were pretty simple. Mostly, we just wanted to find a new outreach mechanism that could reach a pretty wide audience. We wanted to attract families, but we wanted to try to do something that would get adults interested too. We really wanted to do something that would pair recreation with education. One of the things we found out as we did this was geocaching officially does not intend to educate. And hopefully I can touch on that a little bit later in the lessons learned section, because that was our goal. And we discovered that that was going to be a little bit harder than we thought. And really, we wanted to introduce people to Manatee County's conservation lands. We do programs out there all the time. I wish I had, a nickel. It's one of those old sayings, for every single person who's said to me, oh, this is the county? I thought this was the state. Or I've actually had people tell me that Robinson Preserve is managed by Sarasota County or Disney. So we have a little bit of a disconnect in terms of what people think is going on out there. And this was our big one. We'd have some problems with geocachers coming out, either putting caches out without telling us, or tearing up some areas that were really, really critical, just areas that we really wanted to protect. So we wanted to modify, kind of modify that behavior and model responsible caching behavior. So the tour itself is 15 caches throughout Manatee County, and this is our little Google map that we created just to kind of show where the caches are. This is live on our website. you can click on all the little markers and it'll pull up the location, and you can actually just get directions right there. Most of our preserves have one cache in them. Emerson Point and Robinson, our two most visited preserves, have two. And the intent with this is, when you go out to find these caches, of the 15, you need to find 12. We did that intentionally because one of these caches is in Duet that's not always accessible. One of them is only accessible by water, so we figured that that would probably eliminate a large number of people. And then we left that third one that might be the one that you just couldn't find, or maybe somebody had taken it and it wasn't available. So 12 of the 15 is kind of the goal. So how does it work? To get started, you need a passport. And we do have some of these back left on the table. This is the fancy one. Both this one, and then we have a more printer-friendly one, is available on our website in PDF format. This one, it opens up. It's got the maps on the inside. We made sure we included the leave no trace rules for geocaching. For those of you that are familiar with leave no trace, you already know that they have some wonderful, just great instructions for operating and recreating on our national lands, natural lands. And they had a whole section for geocaching that was just awesome. So we included that. And then on the inside, this is the education right here. As you go through to each cache, these are the activities that you have to do. Some of them are letterbox caches, where you just have to grab a stamp and stamp your passport. Other ones get a little more complicated. One of ours, you have to time how many times you can flap your arms in a minute, and then write down which bird you are. Another one, you have to measure your wingspan. We have another one where you have to go out to, it's themed on prescribed fire. You have to go to Riverview Point and go, it's a multi-cache. You go to the first site. In that box, there are 4 photos showing the progression of the fire over time. You add up the dates, plug them into the formula for the next cache, and then you go to the next site, which is another one of our monitoring points. So it was also really important to us that we weren't just talking about birds, but we were also talking about the management activities that go with them. And because we partnered with the National Estuary Programs, it was really important that we also put in some items that were really important to their CCMPs and their focuses as well. So the little orange box, that's what it looks like online. Each cache has a description page. You go there, you can pull it up on your phone or you print it out, gives you the coordinates. You go to 12 of the caches, or if you're really crazy, you do all 15 in one day. Yes, it is possible. Yes, we have someone that did them. And then at the end, when you complete it, you get the treasure. It's really tiny, sorry, but there's one in the back for you to view. This is a tracking tag. And the way these work, they're really cool. Each one is individual and unique. This is a custom one. It was created specifically for the tour. The only way you get it is by finding the geocaches that are on this tour. And on it, there's a code. When you get this, you enter the code, and it is now your unique individual tracking tag. You can keep it, or you can take it and place it in the geocache. The next person that comes along picks it up, and they move it to another cache. These travel all over the world, and if you want, you can give it a mission, like, I'd really like this to get to, South America, or I'd really like it to only go to caches that are associated with water, and people will move them along. What's super cool is on this little guy's page, it actually tracks the mileage and will tell you exactly where it is at all times. These go for $5 to $10. We were able, because of the money that we got from the NEPs, we were able to get these I think they were right around $2 to $3 a piece. We thought we could only order 150 of them. We ordered 300 of them, and so we'll be able to give them out. We're really excited about that, and so are the geocachers. So when it comes to building something like this, the first step is to dream big. You gotta have a proposal. That crazy blue thing, that's my budget, just to kind of show you that we are legit, and we're just, not just throwing ideas out there. We had a whole grant proposal, and then we had to redo the whole thing when we approached the NEPs with it. So it's really important to have a good plan. Seek partnerships. We kind of already covered that with the NEPs. Funding is probably something you always think of. But we weren't going to stop there because I've found caches. I've found right around 200 of them, but I am not an expert. So I recruited a friend of mine who's found something like 6,000, and he volunteered his time to review every single write-up. That's a write-up, and he reviewed all 15 of them. So he helped us out with that. We also had volunteers submitting photographs for us to put in the cache write-ups to kind of keep it so that it wasn't just text, so that there were other images in there illustrating the educational aspects too. And then the developing caches, that took the longest part. That probably took about a month just to write up each one and come up with the educational activities for them. Designing a passport, all done in-house. Please stop offering Aiden jobs. He's ours. We really want to keep him. But he did design all of the marketing materials for this. So he designed the passport and the logo and even the template for the PowerPoint that you see. So that was all done in-house. And then building and hiding the caches, this was all, Walmart has these boxes. We ordered the cache stickers. Some of our other caches that I cannot reveal to you what they look like because they're really awesome and then it wouldn't be any fun for you. We built all those in-house. You can buy them. Okay. Oh, I'm done. I didn't even see it flashing the things. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, so sorry, but that's pretty much the end of my talk, I guess, unless you have... Oh, okay, you want me to finish? Okay. So... I'm giving you this. I'm giving it all to Moran. It's in a PDF document. This is what we're sending to people because we're doing workshops. And this was something we didn't expect. We put one out to the public. We now have like 10 scheduled for private groups. So we're doing these free workshops for them. And these are our lessons learned. The big thing is start small. We're only doing 15 caches, and that was more than enough because you're going to have to be able to replace them. You're going to have to be able to answer back to people if they have questions. And Groundspeak, the organization that manages geocaches, they have very, very, very strict rules, and the education thing was a big part of it. They do not want you to have any kind of a green agenda. So especially for like my fertilizer ordinance cache, I had to really tweak that to get that to work for them. But you can do really cool things. I'm just going to skip through all this really quick. This is one of the successes. One of our caches is an earth cache. It's built on sea level rise. Everyone that goes out in order to earn the cache has to take a photo. They have to record the date, the time, the tide, and then they have to discuss what they think sea level rise will do to this site at Robinson Preserve. And we think this is so cool because this just shows you, these are two photos from the website. This is on August 25th, and then this is a family that went out there like right around the hurricane. So pretty excited about what's happening. Sorry, I talked over.
Yay. Well, I have a GPS unit, and I could go geocache.
You can.
Yes, I can. Wow. Another new activity. Woo. Do we have questions? Comments? Excitement?
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Hi. Lee Amos with the Conservation Foundation of the Gulf Coast. You mentioned creating a Google map and including the locations of the geocaches on this Google map and then having it on your website. Is that something that just about anybody can do, create a Google map and put it on their website? Yeah,
it's free. And I should tell you guys, it's free to list your caches on geocaching.com. We did buy a membership just because it makes it a little bit easier to track things. It's $30 a year, but it's to put caches in, it's totally free. The problem that you guys will probably have is there's already caches at your site. We ran into a lot of trouble because we wanted to put a cache somewhere and there was already one there. And you have to have 528 feet. So for the Google map, we did that because we wanted to show the continuity of the entire tour, but it's very easy, yeah, and there's tutorials to help you do it. You just need a Google account.
Also, where would I find the tutorials? Should I just Google?
You should Google them.
Okay.
Sorry, I know. I'll see if we can put together a links list of how to do that, and we'll send it out with the passport links and the Know Before You Go guide and all that good stuff.
Hello. Do you have any policies on geocaching on your parklands?
We do. They're never followed. That was something when I was placing caches. We actually came up with the caches in May, and then went to place them in July, and there were already caches that had been placed without our knowledge. So there is a reviewer, but one of the positives that came out of this was we were able to connect with the reviewer and say, hey, these are our lands. We're cool with caches being placed there, but you really need to check in with us first. People are supposed to, according to the laws, check in with you, but they don't always do it. And the reviewer doesn't know. But we do have a policy, and I can send that to you.
Okay, thank you. What we should do is, if you could put together that whole package of stuff, including the policies and the links, and send that to Miranda, and she can send it to everybody who's attending here, so everybody can share the information.
Yeah, my plan was just to send her everything I have, and I can even send you guys the budget and the materials list and everything if you want all that. So you can
I think that'd be nice. The whole packet, just from you. Okay, Moran? Super. And I guess there were no more questions. Whoa.